A rose has petals. As you can see, it's close together, and once it opens, you see all the different layers, petals in that regard. Kia ora. Hello, this is Katrin speaking from 2 Points, 1 Smile and Inspire New Beginnings. Well, as you can see, I am in quite a different environment right now, and I want to talk to you today about layers. Onions, waves, layers, all these metaphors come into my mind after having experienced those waves and those layers myself deeply the last 3 weeks, I should say. When we talk in Two Pointing about transforming our blockages, let's call them blockages, transforming something that enables us to view life from a different perspective. We sometimes think, well, I have transformed one particular topic again and again and again, and it should have been resolved or been completely transformed by now. And I'm doing this since 15 years now, and believe me, I thought the same initially, and I also think it over time again and again. However, I experienced lately that some of the blockages that we have are so deeply ingrained in our subconscious, in our being, and they require more than just a few two-pointers or even a lot of two-pointing. One thing that I teach in my workshops, and that I really had to teach myself again, is each time we are applying this method, whether it's two-pointing, by the way, or whether you use any other method for that matter to transform any of your blockages, each time we are using the two-point, however, we are only transforming in that moment whatever we are ready to let go of and transform at that particular day, in that particular moment. And the reason for that, the reason I think for that is, if there are certain topics that are really challenging and really deep, and maybe even are connected to our past lives or other lifetimes, as I sometimes encounter, then if we would be able, as this human being that we are, to transform it like this, and by the way, we would actually be able to do that. However, if our whole being, and that includes the brain and the mind and the physical components of our existence here, were able to do that, the majority of us would not be able to cope with that instant transformation that would release not only attached trauma, but also would enable us to see something that we at that point of time are not actually quite capable of accepting. When in my teaching, as I also sometimes say, we are transforming layers and layers, and that enables us. It's almost like a curtain is being opened. And some of you may call it enlightenment. I rather like to call it the expansion of consciousness. But stepping from really, let's use that metaphor, from really low to extremely high, we are just not capable of doing that. And that's the reason why they are layers, and that's the reason why we are transforming each time what we are ready to transform in that particular moment, and whatever we are ready to let go of in that particular moment. And I must admit, yes, sometimes even I was really surprised the last 2 or 3 weeks about the stuff that came up again that I thought is already been done with, and there was, and maybe there still is, another layer of me needing to let go of, and me needing to release And sometimes that requires patience, and sometimes it also requires those wounds or those traumas to open up again. And yes, that has, and maybe that is also just happening this time that so many things are happening and so many turmoil, so much change on all levels in our lives, on the physical, emotional, political world stage basically is changing and happening. And maybe that's just the reason to really finally release that old stuff too. So I would like to encourage you, do not lose hope, or do not think I can't do this, or why is that happening again, or why is this coming up again. The reason really is there are steps to it, there are layers and layers, and maybe now is the time for you and myself to release these very old, deeply ingrained patterns, behavior patterns, childhood memories, traumas, whatever it is that is still holding you back and still stopping you from experiencing life as a gift. I encourage you to continue, and I encourage you to find moments of peace, whatever that means to you. For me, it is going into nature, or speaking to a tree, or being close to water, or being close to plants, and enjoying their incredible beauty, and also enjoying, yes, they also have layers and layers and layers. Once you see the first little part of the flower, you can't see the full expression and the full beauty and all the layers this rose actually really has. And choose it as a metaphor. Unravel all the patterns, all the layers that you are experiencing. And most importantly, I encourage you to continue. If you need a breather, if you need a break, go and do that. Just take really good care of yourself at the moment. Be kind to yourself and just learn to be really honest with yourself. And when these moments come up, find something that comforts you. Whether this is a tree, whether this is sitting beside the water, whether it's a cat on your lap or a rose beside you. Just be really kind to yourself and know all of this enables you to experience the full amazing gifts and beauty that life has to offer you. I wish you a marvelous day and week and months ahead. Bye for now.